Heck of a challenge to go in there. They're playing very well, and they seem to have hit their stride. And they're playing very well, whether it be inside, outside, outside, inside, half-court offense, transition offense. And really what's really standing out is just how long they are defensively right now at Florida and all the ground that they're covering. And it's going to be, like I said, it's going to be a major challenge for us. But we're excited. I'm glad we're going in there off of a win. So it gets our confidence back up. And we've got some guys that have won in there, so hopefully that helps. But at the end of the day, it is going to be a very, very tough SEC game on the road for us, like they all are. And the three biggest things, there's way more than three, but the biggest thing, we cannot go in there and turn the ball over. I mean, they are running. They are one of the best in the country at scoring in the first 8 seconds, and that doesn't include what they do coming off of turnovers. So we've got to do a fantastic job of taking care of the ball, moving without the ball, getting good looks, getting second shots, but we just cannot give them live ball turnovers. The second thing is we've got to get back in transition because of that, whether it's our miss, turnover, whatever it is, because of how good they are. So we've got to get back. We've got to find shooters. And again, they can get it down the middle of the floor. They've got an outstanding point guard in Andrew Nemhard. They've got guys that stretch you deep to the corner that can make threes. And then I think that the other big thing is we've just got to make sure that when that shot goes up, that we've got 5 guys around that glass like we did the other day. And because that's really the only way to win in this league when it all gets said and done. I mean, you can take a lot of this, you can take a lot of that, but at the end of the day, the rebounding is such a huge, huge part of all of this. And we've got to be able to do those things. So.
Coach, what's gone into Anthony's minutes? I noticed he's gone 40 and 39. Has it just been a need thing, or he's just?
No, it's just. I think it's the pace of the game. I think it's not anything that's in particular that he's playing well inside of it. We're trying to get him breaks here and there. We really didn't get him one against Missouri, but the fatigue level is not there. I try to watch the fatigue level of it. But the other day, the way he was playing, I mean. You don't want to take him off the court. But I am conscious of making sure that we get him some blows. So it's not really about playing X amount of minutes. But we're at that point in the season, where he can do more of those type of things. The other day, it was a shorter bench because it was a very, very physical game. And a very physical game. And we had to match up to that physicality of the A&M game. And the way he rebounded, he matched up excellent inside of that. So there's no real special part of that other than just really the pace and flow of the game.
Tom, I know you're looking for consistency with all your players. Regarding Severe, what are you stressing with him from game to game that you're looking for?
Well, it's good that he's back. I think you can see a difference in the speed of our game. I think it's decision-making on the break, and we need a lot from him defensively. But really the decision-making, the speed, the change of speed, not trying to make plays that aren't there. If he doesn't have a pass, if he doesn't have a basket, keep the ball alive. Keep it, dribble it, get it back out. But I think, he just got such an infectious energy that I think guys really enjoy playing with him. But and then the parts of his improvement is continue to work on his shooting, which he is, continue to work on his change of speed, change of pace, like he is, and continue to move without the ball, which is something that he can continue to get better and better at, because once he gives it up, we'd like to get it back to him, but he's got to be able to move, because sometimes defenders will sag into the paint, and the more he moves without it, the harder he is to find. And that's better for us.
In regards to Rayshon and the inconsistencies that he's had this year, is that something you talk with him about every day? Is that something he just needs to figure out on his own?
We just try to have solutions as much as possible. And I think that's the biggest thing you do with any of your guys, but especially in a case like that. It's not about pointing out the obvious. It's not about doing a deep dive as much as it's giving him solutions that he can go to. Mm-hmm. Because he can do a lot of different things, there's a lot of different ways to use him. Keeping that energy high, but the bottom line for him is mindset. It's conditioning. It's playing through the adversities, inside of a game, which is part of the mindset part of it. I thought the other day he did a really, really good job of moving without the ball, which in turn got him moving the ball once he got it back. And I think that's a big thing, being hard to guard, being hard to find. And he really epitomizes being able to play inside out on our team, as does Tumani. Mm-hmm. So those are the type of things, and we'll definitely watch film, but it's sometimes it's specific to a certain thing. We'll always watch film, but something with him, it might be a specific something, right? Not just a generalization. and something that, okay, let's go really attack this. And I think a lot of times when guys struggle, the last thing you want to do is focus on the struggle. You want to focus on the solution, and you want to focus on something they can get energy from. And I think that's a huge part of trying to push the right buttons with your guys as you go along.
You said all along the team has remained pretty confident throughout the struggle, but how much did y'all really need a win the other night?
I mean, for a coach, it's a must-win every night, right? I mean, it just is. I mean, it's a must-win game when you're playing exhibitions. It's just the mindset. But I think it was really important for the team. I don't think there's any question about that. And I think it's how we won, in the fact that they were able to carry out a game plan, that they were able to match up physically with Texas A&M. It was a very physical, aggressive group, and that we were able to do it with the defense and the rebounding, and we got really good movement offensively.
Over the past couple of games, have you seen Anthony sort of make some positive steps in terms of not predetermining shots and shot selection?
Yeah, I'd say so. But he's making steps every day in practice. Then it's just a matter of him carrying over to the games. And I think that's definitely what we saw the other day. I mean, he scored in a variety of ways. He scored off of his defense, and he did such a great job rebounding the ball defensively. And now the biggest thing that you want to have as a player is efficiency. And the only way you get efficiency is to have consistency. And that's what we've got to continue to build on with him in every part of it. So like what you said with the predetermining, we've got to continue to work through that. But he attacked the rim, he got catch and shoot threes, he did things off the dribble, he moved the ball, he moved without the ball. Those were really, really, very positive things. And it started on the defensive side and with the rebounding.
Have you seen roles start to shake out? You mentioned consistency. I guess I asked the question about identity. Are you starting to see guys starting to feel their way in this team evolve? I mean, you do have 10 newcomers. I would imagine it takes time.
You know what? That's a very good question, and I would say the answer, short form, is no. We're not consistent enough. There's not enough to have an identity. Now, some guys are pretty consistent, but I'm talking about getting it to a place where it is 8, 9 to 10 deep, where it's not that everybody played well, but that everybody played with a level of consistency. And I would say we're not there yet. I would say we know what the identity's got to be. We've got to defend at a high level with 5 guys. We've got to have, whether we're switching man to man, whether we're playing something straight up, whether we're zone, whatever it is, we've got to have that communication be a part of that. The identity has got to come in the rebounding area. That has not been as consistent. We want to run. All right, has not been as consistent. And then the biggest thing is really, really moving without the ball. And I think that's when guys have really good games, right? We get on the offensive glass, we get cuts, we get open threes, we get the drive and kick game going. And that is what we have to have. So in full honesty, we are not in an identity yet. Do I wish we were? Absolutely. Do we know what it is? No question about it. But we're not there yet. And until we get some guys playing back-to-back games of consistency, not necessarily score sheet consistency or scorebook consistency or stat sheet consistency, but just in the way that they can play. And that's why the bench shrunk a little bit the other day, because it really became a situation. The physicality of the game is going to dictate who plays in this game. And you'd like to have more and more people that you could do that with.
For Anthony, how important can defense be in sort of getting him in a rhythm on the offensive end?
Anthony Edwards has got a chance to be an elite next level defender, without question. Said that since the summer, and definitely since the fall. There's no question about that. He's got something that when young players have not only the strength and athleticism that he has, but the balance. Now they have leverage. All right, and when you have leverage in your lower body, okay, everybody sees the body, but it's the leverage that he has. It's the balance that he has. It's the ability to keep the dribble in front of him. It's the quick twitch, and then there's reactions that he has. It just really comes down to a focus, a concentration, and to a longevity. And longevity might be a few more seconds. At the end of the day, it's more possessions, but it might just be a few more seconds. That's longevity in the game of basketball. And to me, that's what he's got to continue to develop. But he continues to progress the way that he is going to be an elite defender.
Getting back